Just recently, I went through all the class changes, and we know there's a lot of them. Plenty of class buffs and nerfs coming in 12.1, and believe it or not, people are already getting the best and worst. These classes are already getting ranked. It's what we do here as WoW players. So let's see what's going on here from the Comeback Kids. The best and the worst 12.0 class updates. Who are the winners and the losers? Who's getting gutted and who's getting buffed? Let's see what's going on here from the Comeback Kids.
Okay, patch 12.1 has some major class changes here. The big question is, did your class just get nerfed, buffed, or did it go unchanged? In today's video, we're diving into the first week of updates for every spec in the game and telling you if they're a winner or a loser. Of course, this is not the final list. This is just to keep you updated on everything going on in the game right now. So leave your opinion on how your spec is doing in the comment section below. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, starting off with
Hopefully we're
Death
good.
Knight.
Are we good?
This one is going to be pretty straightforward. Overall, when it comes to tanks, they gave them all a slight
what? Thank you. Come on my back, kids. Jesus.
sort of defensive capability increase, as well as a 25% health buff. They didn't have a good season in Season 1. Their Mythic Plus performance wasn't that good. The raid wasn't that good. So them only getting slight survivability increases just like everybody else, nothing's really going to change so far for them. Their self-healing should still be phenomenal, really good. Not only that, Death Knight has a really poor tier set bonus right now. I'm nothing really happening too much here. We're hoping for some more changes. Right now,
well, as a Blood DK main, looks like I'm just going to eat shit and continue to do no damage. But hey, we'll be able to heal better, so there's that.
going to put them in the waiting room, because these aren't going to make changes to the meta at all here. Frost Death Knight is another spec that hasn't performed well all Season 1 in Mythic Plus or Raid. Really tough design on this class right now with how the gameplay is designed when it comes to just World of Warcraft in general. Right now, it's very simple. We have to put them in the waiting room. Like, they haven't gotten any updates or changes. We're hoping that Frost gets something, and yeah. So moving on next to
Unholy got a
Death
lot.
Knight, which is like Blizzard's love child at this point. Season 1, they dominated across the board. They did pretty well in Raid, but really in Mythic Plus is where they're, earn their money. Blizzard is trying to solve two problems. One, with them summoning too many minions at a time. And then number two is sort of having too much damage funneled into their cooldown windows.
Yeah, the Blizzard right now, you'll notice with all these changes, and I said this before, they're trying to eliminate burst windows. Blizzard doesn't like I don't know who at Blizzard doesn't, but they don't like the big, I'm going to burst my ass off. I'm popping all my shit in one window, and then I got nothing to do for, 2-3 minutes until everything comes off a cooldown. They want to lessen the damage in burst windows and increase the damage between the windows. So Unholy, big bursty boy, right? They're making the change to kind of lessen how that works for them.
So they're sort of nerfing their cooldowns a little bit, but then buffing things like their Apex talent, the Magus of the Dead interaction. It's getting some updates. As well as a double variant added to it called the Lord of the Dead, which is quite interesting, and we'll see if that's good. It's hard to tell whether this is a major win or loss at the moment, because it's all just going to come down to gameplay and numbers, because the rotation and everything isn't changing. It's just going to see if it comes down to a better number increase. So if it does, then yeah, Unholy's going to be a winner. But right now, some good updates. Hopefully they're a small winner. Moving on next to Demon Hunter. First up, we have Devour. They make it... Listen, this is very simple here. Devour absolutely dominated Raid in Mythic Plus. There is a chance that Devour could have been the best overall spec in the game, Season 1. So now that the expansion hype is over and the release hype is over, looks like we're getting some tuning. So right off the bat, they're taking away some damage from them inside of Metamorph.
I do want to say, though, before he gets into all the statistical changes, one of the changes that we saw in the patch notes was Devour Demon Hunter getting to equip daggers. I don't know how that's going to change things for them in terms of DPS, but yeah, equipping daggers will be a thing. It's the first Demon Hunter class that can do that, or I should say Demon Hunter spec. I don't know. And yeah, so that's going to be pretty big. We'll see how it actually affects them on the back end. But yeah, Dagger Boys for your Demon Hunters. Only Devour. I think the others still can't equip it.
This is pretty much substantially, and then giving them more damage outside of it. So their consume is getting buffed a lot. Their increased ability damage overall by 20%. But they're reducing their scaling inside of Void meta, which is, of course, where they earn their money. And because they were performing so well, I'm not sure if this is actually a good change for them. Like, I feel like Devourers were doing well. I didn't think they needed some drastic change. I thought the whole shtick was, the second I get in Void meta, I'm crushing everything. So I'm going to be honest. I'm actually going to put this as a loss. I'm going to put them as a loser right now. I'm not in love with this change.
It makes sense that Devour Demon Hunter would be at a loss when Blizzard's trying to eliminate burst windows. And really, the way Devour plays right now is, yeah, you get into that Metamorphosis Void form, that's your burst window. They don't like that. They want less burstiness. So, yeah, that's going to hurt Devour.
And, yeah, we'll see how it goes in the future. Well, Havoc Demon Hunter, this is another spec that was, you know, not doing too well throughout Season 1 in Mythic Plus or Raid. There is some arguments where in Mythic Plus, if you know what you're doing on a Havoc, you could pull numbers, and I've seen it, and it's really cool to see. But right now, at this current moment in time, they're in a waiting room. They didn't get any updates. We're hoping for some slight changes. So right now, yeah, Havoc is in a waiting room. Moving on to Vengeance, they also got some minor updates similar to Blood. Some more healing potential overall. Nothing too crazy here. I was hoping for some more passive damage mitigation overall and less reliance on their Apex talent to proc and stuff like that. I mean, technically, they're a winner, like, by a small margin, but not by, like, a crazy amount. So I'm just going to put them as a small winner. Maybe they're on the rise.
I mean, look, I know there'll be more changes for tanks going forward. There's no way. These are not all the changes. We're going to see more patch notes come out, more changes happen. But I really thought tanking-wise, the guys who are not leading right now, basically everybody except Bears, and like Brewmasters are slightly behind the Bear boys, we're just eating shit. We don't do any damage comparatively speaking. So I thought we would get more buffs for tanking specs in terms of damage, and it doesn't look like we're getting them yet. Maybe I'm speaking too soon, but at least yet we haven't seen that. So it looks like the Bear boys are still going to be the best tanks in the game.
Because Devour just got dropped as well. So we'll see. Maybe it could be a Vengeance Demon Hunter meta coming up soon. Moving on to our next class with Druid, starting off with Balance here. Blizzard basically said that Balance Druid has too much astral power generation. They have too many procs and spenders going on, so they want to reduce all of that, but then increase their damage to sort of supplement all of the changes. So they're buffing, you know, their overall damage, their spenders, their builders, and stuff like that. Bigger eclipse windows. In theory, this should feel better, but the truth of the matter is you're looking at the numbers here, and they just don't look like enough. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't think like these numbers are going to be enough to supplement some of these free procs constantly coming in. Right now, I'm pretty worried, so I'm going to have to put them in the slight loser. I think they're going to need a lot of like number adjustments. Hopefully they get it, because I think Balance is a really cool spec. When it comes to Feral Druid, on a base change level, they actually didn't get changed much at all. I would say the biggest change here was the fact that Chomp is being buffed by a whopping 30%, which should be really good on boss fights in Mythic Plus as well as Raid in general. Okay. I like that. I think the gameplay of Feral is quite interesting right now. I don't like their Apex talent. I was hoping for some massive changes like they did with Arcane, which we'll talk about.
I don't know what it is about Feral, and I know Feral's been like getting buffed here and there for a while now, but they were so bad early on. I just feel like none of these buffs have been significant enough to push them into what would be considered like a top tier DPS spec. It's been weird. Blizzard's been buffing them. Like, they recognize that Feral needs buffs, but they've been doing it with, like, one dick tied behind their back. How do you do that? You don't got two dicks, so that means you got no dicks. I don't know what this analogy's doing anyways. But what I'm saying is they basically been buffing them, but never enough to actually make a difference. So they're still just, like, really mid-tier DPS. That's where they've been for a while now.
A second, but because that isn't going to be the case where, you know, we're not involving their tier set. Their tier set's phenomenal. We're not involving it on this video and giving them the rating based off that. I'm actually going to put Feral in the slight loser category. I was hoping for some more consistent damage updates.
Yeah.
Like some more bleed increased damage outside of their cooldown windows. And that's not the case right now. So hopefully they get it. When it comes to Restoration Druid, man, I'm going to be honest. This is one of definitely the bigger winners here. In the overall patch, I would say, as a healer. Right off the bat, a ton of quality of life improvements. You got a couple new talents like Overgrowth and I think it's called Flash of Clarity for some regrowth interactions. They redesigned the Abundance talent. Tree of Life got buffed. Tranquility got buffed substantially. It also gives you a massive absorb now. You know, it doesn't allow you to get knocked back anymore. Mana reductions. Overall, there's just a lot of strong updates with Restoration Druid that definitely make them a winner in terms of quality of life and just general throughput buffs, and that's what I like. I think the gameplay is fun of Restoration, so I'm gonna have to put them as the first big winner in this patch so far.
Resto, if you remember the start of Midnight, Restoration Druid was the top healer. They were the best. They've since fallen off. Who the hell? Mistweaver came up for a little bit. Who was the top one right now? Gosh, I can't remember. Is it still Mistweaver? Shit, I gotta remember the meta. But what I was saying anyways is Guardian, or Resto was the best for quite a while. I think Mist is, yeah. Right, they were the best. Resto Druid was the best for a while, and they fell off for a little bit, so they're getting buffed. Hey, maybe they become the meta again.
When it comes to Guardian Druid, this is another one that's one of those tanking situations where Blizzard's trying to make the spec flow a little better and fix them, because they weren't using their Apex talent in the later updates in Season 1, which is really odd. You know, every class should be using their Apex talent. So I'm not exactly sure if this is a win or loss. They're trying to funnel them back into that Apex. They give them some minor survivability updates. Right now, I mean, if the numbers come in like properly for damage, they could be a small winner, but I don't know if this is going to be a massive loss. Right now, I'm going to put them in the neutral category. I'm unsure. You Guardian mains got to let me know how you feel about this in the comment section below. Moving.
Guardian's doing so good right now. I mean, even if they remain unchanged, they're probably the best going forward as far as tanks go for next season too.
On to Evoker. This is going to be a quick one. Augmentation, absolutely S tier in Midnight Season 1, whether it comes to rating or Mythic Plus. They dominated. And to be honest, they didn't really get changed. As long as they're not getting nerfed, you know, Augmentation is coming out as a winner, and that's going to be fine. They didn't get updates. They haven't got nerfed. Not really a problem. I think they're a small winner right now just because they're still dominating. With Devastation Evoker, they're getting an update to their Apex talent with the new ability called Unbound Flame, which can deal some nice damage. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to be honest, though. I think Devastation needs a lot more than just one button to fix this spec. So sadly, we're going to have to put them in the loser category and pray that they get some changes to maybe something like Flame.
Yeah, well, they're not done yet, so maybe Devastation gets more changes. But Devastation, I've been saying, they've been getting devastated. They've been literally at the very bottom of like every single chart for a while now. Yeah, send help, right? Konisia plays Devastation Evoker. She knows. So yeah, we'll see if they buff him a little bit more. So far, it's definitely not enough to make Devastation kind of pull them out of the freaking sewers right now, because that's where they've been.
Shaper or Scale Commander a little bit better, because their performance just really is inconsistent right now. So right now, I'm actually going to put them in the slight loser. With Preservation Evoker, this is another spec that really didn't perform that well Season 1. They had a couple niche, fights with raids, but all season, they could definitely have used some updates. So was hoping for something big. The main thing here is that they're updating Dream Breath's, heal over time effect to be a lot stronger, which seems nice on paper, but then you look at it closer, and it looks like they nerfed the instant heal of Dream Breath by
it goes with the theme, right? They're nerfing the instant heal, but they're increasing the heal over time. Again, less burst window shit, more overtime shit. That's the theme of like all these changes with these classes.
Whopping 50%, and the Apex talent integration of it. So I do think Preservation needs a lot more than this. Sadly, this is another spec I'm putting in the slight loser category. Not in love with this. I think they need some more updates. Moving on to Hunter, starting off with Beast Mastery. I mean, it's simple. I think we got ourselves a winner here. They simply buffed everything outside of Bestial Wrath, but not only that, you pretty much have Beast Cleave 24/7 now if you activate it on cooldown, which is really nice. In general, just flat passive AoE DPS, which is great. That's kind of Beast Mastery's MO and shtick, just being very consistent. And I think this fits right into their gameplay style. I think their gameplay's fine. Nice. Damage is going to increase. So right now, I'm putting Beastmaster as actually a huge winner for Hunter overall. Moving on to Marksmanship. Once again, this is another spec that is just getting massive changes season in, season out. A ton of aim shot modifiers got nerfed. Headshot and double tap got removed. And a wide variety of things were changed. Not only that, they're making a big emphasis to play around things like explosive shot now, which is really interesting. They're just redesigning it entirely. Let me know what you Hunter mains think about this in the comment section below. Personally, I'm not a fan of playing with explosive shot on a marksmanship hunter. That feels more like an old school survival hunter thing. Don't love the direction they're heading. So at the moment, I'm going to put them a slight loser. Only because we don't know what the numbers are going to look like. Gameplay seems very iffy right now. So marksmanship hunter mains, let me know what you guys think up in the comment section below. Survival hunter is next. I'm going to be honest. This seems like a loser once again. They really didn't get anything changed at all. And I think the spec, I think it's in a good spot.
I was going to say, though, if they're not changing anything on survival, that's kind of a win for them, because we just looked at the charts right now for Sporefall and everything. I mean, they were doing great. They were doing really good in Sporefall because it's an AoE fight, and right now survival just does great AoE damage. So I guess they don't really need changes. They're doing good.
Gameplay-wise, I just think they needed some number tuning, and I think this patch is up for grabs when it comes to Hunter spec, like who's going to be the best. But man, those Beast Mastery changes are really nice, and they're looking like the solid choice right now. So right now, we need some more changes for survival. I don't think they're in a terrible spot. I just want a little bit updates heading into the new season. Moving on to Mage, right off the bat in general, Mage is getting some minor survivability increases, which is really nice across the board because they desperately need it. But
I don't know if they're enough, though. Mages, if you don't know, are like the squishiest squishers ever this entire season. It's like the wind blows the wrong way and they're dead. So they're trying to make them more survivable. I think they need a bit more. They tried to give them some more survivability. Not opposite. What do you mean? Nobody survives as a mage at this point. That's for sure. So we'll see. So many cooldowns. They do have a lot of cooldowns, that's for sure.
Can always use
Doc coming in with a 5. Oh, majors.
Oh, majors are beyond squishy.
Yeah, they are. Mages are beyond squishy. So we'll see. They're supposed to help with some of the defensives here, but we'll see if it's actually enough.
When it comes to specs in particular, Arcane got a brand new ability called Prismatic Bolt. It's an Apex talent that really feels nice to press when you get that proc after dumping Arcane salvo stacks.
We'll see, Hazard.
And then, also Arcane Pulse got redesigned to a 15-second cooldown to hit a little bit harder. So overall, it should make the gameplay feel better, but I'm not sure if this is going to give them like a major increase to take them out of that like E- D tier category. I'm not sure. Right now, I'm cautiously optimistic. They are a small winner, so hopefully things continue to improve. We will have to see. When it comes to Fire Mage,
yeah, I mean, look, when it comes to mages, being a glass cannon's fun, but how much damage does a dead DPS do? Come on, class. Can you give me the answer? How much damage does a dead DPS do? None. Yeah, they don't do any damage. So we need survivability for these guys to actually make them viable again.
this is simple. I think this is a send help category here. This is an underhand pitch when it comes to this. I don't like what they're doing with a Fire Mage at all. I don't like their tier set. It's being built around Pyroclasm. I wish they would bring back Sun King's Blessing. That was a really fun interaction with the class. They took it out heading into Midnight. I didn't like that they did that at all. Not only that, I think Fire Mage in general needs a complete overhaul. It's like one of the most boring specs in the game. And not only very like punishing if you don't know what you're doing. I think this class is in the send help tier. Really, really sad they didn't get some major updates. Moving on to the last Mage spec, Frost Mage is pretty much untouched. They got a 4% damage buff, and right now at the moment, they're kind of in the waiting room. I think overall, because they got some defensive capability increases, Frost Mage's damage was always really good damage profile instead of Mythic Plus and Raids. So I technically they're a small winner, but I think some more things might be coming to them. So right now at the moment, I'm just going to put them in the waiting room. We don't know what's really going to go down with Frost Mage. Moving on to Monk, starting with Brewmaster. This is a spec that dominated Season 1 top to bottom. Mythic Plus Raid, they killed it. Their survivability is phenomenal.
Yeah, before the Druids came to take their spot as the best tanks, Brewmaster was doing unbelievable as the best tanks in the game.
As long as Brewmaster does not get nerfed, they are a winner. So they're actually getting buffed. I'm just going to put them in the small winner category. Things are looking good for them.
Damn.
When it comes to Mistweaver, Blizzard is doing their best to sort of adjust some of their healing throughput outside of Spinning Crane Kick and funnel it, I guess, into, I think it's called Ancient Teachings. Hard to tell whether this is a big nerf or buff, but having them less reliant on spinning around like a blender nonstop, I think that's a win in my book. Usually it's healthier for a class spec long-term when they're not just spamming one ability over and over. This is tough because if the numbers look good, they're a small winner. But if the numbers are simply bad and the gameplay is rougher, it's a loser. So I don't know.
Right.
I think right now, I think they were doing phenomenal inside of like Mythic Plus. These changes might suck. I'm going to have to put them in a slight loser category. No. Windwalker is another spec that's getting some updates outside of their cooldown windows, which should be good on paper because their single target, like pure single target boss fight encounters were really, really rough. AoE, they're never lacking, so they're good there. So they're giving them buffs to things like their attack damage, Blackout Kick, Tiger Palm, and a couple other things.
Sounds
good. It should be better for them for raiding and boss fights in general. So at the moment, they're a very, very minor slight winner. I don't know if this is going to be better for them overall. We will have to see. I'm hoping we get some more changes to things like Conduit Celestial because I think that hero talent tree desperately needs some work. Moving on to Paladin. Starting with Protection. This is the easiest one here. This is the biggest winner of the entire patch. It's not even close.
Damn it. Why? Why is it always Why is it always the Paladins getting all the damn love? Who's the guy who does class tuning and shit at Blizzard? He must play Paladin. I was like, well, yeah, the Brewmasters are going to do their thing. And of course, yeah, the Bear Boys are going to be the best tanks in the game. But at least the rest of us are going to be sitting even. Doesn't look like it. No, looks like protection fucking paladins are going to be up there too now. What's happening with my blood DK? Oh, just left in the fucking trash. Just left in the trash. We'll see you later, prop pallies. You guys are rising to the top again. Shit.
This class, just top to bottom, is getting massive, showered with changes, like beautiful updates. A bunch of damage increases across the board for all their key abilities. Not only that,
good.
their survivability is getting improved with things like Ardent Defender, better self healing, Word of Glory healing, over healing will now give you a.
Oh yeah, one under just remind me. They're also getting the coolest looking tier set again. Jesus, man.
Shield now, which is really nice. It's just looking like a prop paladin, like landslide here right now. I'm hoping this happens. I love protection paladin in my keys because they just kick everything nonstop, and I could just sit there and AoE damage like a freaking rat that I am. So I love prop paladin. I think they're amazing. This is the best class change so far. They're getting showered with updates.
Congratulations.
Major winner. When it comes to retribution, this is another big winner. Surprisingly, even though Hammer of Light got nerfed by a decent amount, they're getting humongous buffs across the board to pretty much every single ability in their DPS kit when it comes to their base rotation. Not only that, you can store extra Art of War procs now, which is great.
Wow.
Better Holy Power spending gameplay, and then potentially some more variety in the heal talent tree department.
So happy for you.
Hammer of Light got nerfed, so you never know, might have some more gameplay variety. I'm actually putting them in the huge winner category. Moving on next to Holy Paladin. This spec is simply in the waiting room. Nothing's going on with them. Literally, they're not even on the patch notes list. AFK in the waiting room right now. Moving on to Priest, starting with Discipline, they're kind of taking away the amount of, I guess they would call it randomness and procs with this spec. Previously, Shadowman was timed to Shadow Ward Pain. Now they're putting that into Flash of Light. And then not only that, Mind Blast will now automatically proc your Void Shield. So I think this is a small winner here. I mean, there's some good updates for some deterministic like gameplay rather than it being proc based and buried on.
I selfishly actually like it when Disc Priest is like the best healer because they buff too, so you get a little bit of a bonus right out of them being in the group. And they haven't been good enough this season though to make it to the meta.
A bunch of different shit going on, so I'm putting this in a small winner. I think Disc Priest is in a decent spot as is, so looking good right now. When it comes to Holy Priest, honestly, they didn't get any changes really. They're in the waiting room. Definitely hoping to see some more changes soon. Even with their tier set, it's looking like they're going to be playing a Renew, Prayer of Mending type build-ish. Don't know if Holy Priest liked that style of gameplay. I liked it because I like just letting all my hots and shit do all the work. So let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section below. I could be an idiot. I don't know. Moving on next to Shadow Priest. I'm going to be honest. This is a huge winner type of spec here. They are really, really good so far. A lot of Shadow Priests seem to love what's happening. A lot of consistent AoE damage being updated. They have a brand new AoE talent with a Shadowy Apparition sort of exploding to deal AoE damage, which is nice. Void Form gives you 2 additional uses of Void Volley for a shit ton of damage, which is great.
I mean, I've said it all expansion. I just think for the sake of the lore, Shadow Priest should just be pumping this entire expansion. I mean, we're literally fighting against the Void. We're tickling Xalatat's toes. All this shit going on. We're super intertwined with the Voidy shit. Shadow Priest should be having a good time this entire expansion, right? Because we're so close to the Void. Of course, that's what they do. So I hope Shadow Priest gets buffed. I never played it, but I hope it gets buffed. It looks like it is, though.
Increased Void Form duration and haste buff with the talent. That feels awesome. And not only that, a couple great hero talent upgrades with Archon for boss fights. I mean, listen, to cap it off, their tier set is one of the best in the game with that 4-set design. Absolutely phenomenal. Overall, I think Shadow Priest is absolutely on the rise when it comes to this patch. One of the biggest winners this season so far on the first week of changes. So looking good. Moving on to Rogue, with our first one being Assassination. Blizzard is simply just trying to fix the gameplay here. They're updating their Apex talent to give them, I guess, more energy generation and economy, as well as, rewarding the Rogue for late reapplications of Envenom. So there's a nice little skill curve there. I think that's nice. And not only that, all of their base abilities got some buffs overall. So that's cool. My problem is they nerfed the shit out of things like Deathmark, Kingsbane, and even Blindside for raids got nerfed as well, which definitely does suck. So at the current moment, the energy generation feels stronger, but their cooldowns got nerfed a lot, and I don't know if it's going to supplement for things like boss fights.
Yeah, less bursty. That's what they want.
Right now, I'm going to put them in a slight winner because theoretically this seems good, but I'm still unsure. It cautiously optimistic here. When it comes to Outlaw, I'm going to be honest, guys. I might just be a hater. I think Outlaw goes in the Send Help tier, not because I think their performance is bad. This is just me personally. I want some drastic changes with Outlaw. I'm kind of tired of just the massive RNG, huge APM style of game.
They have been RNG. The roll the dice is one of the most RNG abilities in the game. It's literally an RNG ability. You're rolling the dice hoping you get the right shit. Which is sad though, because I think Outlaw Rogue, in terms of like class fantasy, you know, you're a swashbuckling pirate with your guns and your shit and your swords and your cutlass. I think they're cool. I think they're very cool in terms of lore. But yeah, they haven't been the best. It's an RG class. I mean, it's an RG spec, I should say. So, yeah, you win some, you lose some. That's how that is with them.
It's kind of exhausting playing Outlaw Rogue and Mythic Plus at the moment. So when it comes to them, just small numbers, they're kind of in the waiting room. But me personally, I think they're in Ascend help tier. I would love for this class to get some changes. I think there's a reason it's the least played DPS spec in the entire game.
Oh my god, really?
And if that's not a telltale sign of what the...
Wait, there's more people playing Devastation Evoker than Outlaw Rogue right now? What the hell? That's kind of crazy. If he's right. I don't know if he's that's kind of crazy. Hold on, what am I saying? I can look right now. I don't know if he's right, actually. I can find out, at least in terms of raid. Oh, yeah, Outlaw Rogue. Shit, they are near the bottom. Fire Mage is the only thing worse, at least from last week. Now, this is looking at, what, heroic raid numbers. Let's see Mythic raid numbers if they're at the bottom. Mythic raid, they actually do a little bit better. Yeah. So, I mean, this is for rating, so maybe Mythic Plus, they are shit, too. But yeah, it looks like just like in the average man, heroic raid, yeah, Outlaw Rogue, one of the least played. Wow. That's pretty crazy.
The hell is going on here? We have ourselves a problem, so I think Outlaw needs to get changed.
Rip
when it comes to
Affliction,
Subtly
yeah.
Rogue, this is a little bit of a weird one because
And Fire Mage.
Blizzard is sort of addressing the fact that they're getting overloaded with too many combo points and energy generation during their major cooldown windows, so they're getting flooded too much. And they're sort of taking that out of their cooldown windows and giving it to them outside of their cooldown windows, which in theory sounds good, but, you know, Subtlety's all about their cooldowns. It's all about Shadow Dance and the Shadow Blades and then some of your other cooldowns. So I'm not sure.
Blizzard's new philosophy, like I said, they don't like that. They don't like the cooldown burst window style of DPS, so they're getting changed.
I think Subtlety's kind of in a little bit of a waiting room situation. We don't know if this is going to supplement into better damage. So we'll have to see. When it comes to Shaman, moving on to them, I think they got some nice changes. Elemental right off the bat, one of the bigger winners throughout the patch. It's important to note their major cooldown, Ascendants, got nerfed. I would say a good amount. I'm going to be honest. And even Tempest got nerfed a good amount. But other than that, everything else across the board got buffed substantially. I mean, from a raw theoretical gameplay perspective, this is definitely good. But I don't know if the numbers are going to supplement and like actually make up for this nerf. At the moment, I'm worried numbers-wise. Rotationally and gameplay-wise, it sounds awesome. Not only that, their tier set is one of the best in the entire game for 2-set and 4-set. It's phenomenal. So right now, I'm putting them in the small winner category. Things definitely could change because we can go live on this patch and the numbers can be shit. So we will have to see how this performs in the Mythic Plus testing on the PTR. When it comes to enhancement, at the moment, they pretty much got nothing. They're in the waiting room category. Some healer changes. Nothing happening here. Same thing with Restoration Shaman. Healing Rain change, minor change, nothing even happening. They're in the waiting room. And speaking of waiting room, all of Warlock is in the waiting room because they literally got no changes at all whatsoever.
Yeah, that's right.
So other than destruction with some minor changes, but even then they're in the waiting room. We'll be seeing updates to them in the next couple days or even week or so. Moving on now, we just have Warrior left. Starting off with Arms. I'm just going to quickly put them in the slight loser category. A lot of these changes feel just like fluff rather than anything actual meaningful going on here. Ravager is getting some damage increase and in itself, and you know, it's getting nerfed when it comes to buffing your other abilities damage increase while Ravager's active, so that's odd. Rend is going back to a single target ability, but then now Cleave spreads your Rend, so I don't know, or like, I don't know what's going on here with Warrior. I'm not really impressed here. Either way, there's always going to be a need for a Warrior in a melee Cleave comp in something like Mythic Plus, and you need Warrior, obviously, for the raid buff, so a Warrior's going to be in there. I'm going to be honest, it might be Fury this patch. I think Fury got some decent changes. I'm going to put them in the slight winner category by like just a small margin here. I guess they're...
If Prot Warrior's getting, ends up being a winner here, he's talking Fury right now, I know, but if Prot Warrior's a winner, I'm writing an angry letter to Blizzard, okay? Very angry. Pen's going to be on fire while I'm writing it. Because what the fuck? Blood DK didn't get shit. All these other tanking specs are going to be doing better. Can't stand for that.
Trying to make Whirlwind
We'll see.
matter again. I don't know about you guys. Pressing Whirlwind always feels like shit on Fury Warrior and Retail WoW. So that's kind of lame. I will say, I do like the redesign of Rampaging Ruin and it sort of slamming into the ground for some AoE damage. It seems really nice. And not only that, Mountain Thane's Thunderblast got buffed substantially. So right now, I'm going to leave Fury Warrior in the small winner category.
Okay.
Not super impressed, though. When it comes to Protection Warrior,
Let's see.
they, just like every other tank, got some slight defensive capability increase. They got their health increase, as well as the Ravager change across the board, which is nice for the 50% buff on that. And then they also got the Colossus as well as Mountain Thane buffs as well. So I'm not really too impressed so far. I think the Mountain Thane buff will be nice for them overall, but nothing here really eye-braising. I'm going to leave them, I guess, in the waiting room, neutral-ish
Okay, all right, it's
category.
fine. They're with Blood
I'm
DK.
not too impressed. I mean, I don't know. Technically, it's a small win. Are these
Jesus
changes
Christ, he moved
gonna
up.
be, meta-defining?
They're
I don't
winning.
think so. There's a lot of great specs in here
They're
that are
fucking
just
winning.
above them. Prop Paladin's looking like God tier right now. Brewmaster's phenomenal. I mean, Vengeance even got better, so I don't know if Prod's going to be a major
Shitty
winner.
shit.
But, ladies and gentlemen, yes, that is going to
Shitty
wrap
shit
up
up.
today's videos on all of these changes in patch 12.1. A lot of good updates here to a lot of classes. Remember, this is just week 1. There's a lot of things
very
happening
angry.
over the next few weeks. Just wanted to make this video really quick. Give you guys a base summary on everything going on. My name's Scott from the Comeback Kids. I'll see you next one. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the content, consider subscribing or check out one of the videos you see on screen here to stay up to date on all things Warcraft. My name's Scott from the Comeback Kids. It's an absolute pleasure to make content for you all. I'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, nice video. Nice video overall. Not really nice for Blood DK. I mean, I think we needed more changes than we're getting, but it is what it is, I guess. Overall, these changes, though, you got to remember, some of these changes are going to change, and there's still changes that haven't come out yet, because this is still early in the patch cycle, right? We're going to get more stuff to talk about here in the coming days, so we'll see what ends up happening. But overall, these are the changes. This is where things currently stand, and some of these classes, big winners for sure. Nice video overall from the Comeback Kids.